Welcome to Community at Home for Tuesday, August the 18th. And we are studying through the book of Mark on Sundays, and we started that back in the spring. And this past Sunday, we were finishing up in Mark chapter 5, and where Jesus healed a lady who had reached out and had enough faith to just said, if I could just touch his robe, that I'll be healed. And then we have this guy who comes and says, he's a leader in the synagogue, and he says, listen, my daughter's dying. Could you come to my home and make sure she doesn't die to heal her? And he says, yes, I'll do it. But along the way, she dies. And when he gets there, he takes Peter, James, and John and her parents into the room, and he raises her from the dead. And this is just going to be celebrated, right? And obviously so. But he gives this statement at the end in verse 43 in chapter 5. It says that Jesus gave them strict orders not to tell anyone what had happened. This is a common question. Lots of you are asking this question. Why is Jesus on several occasions telling people not to say what has happened? Well, there's a couple of reasons for that. One could be this. One is called the Messianic secret. And the Messianic secret is this, is that these phrases were added in by whoever was writing. In this case, it would have been Mark. And it's kind of a literary add-on, because they're trying to explain why the Jews at the time of Jesus' earthly ministry, that they would reject him as the Messiah. So they call it the Messianic secret, and this was just kind of something that a literary device that they used to add in. Well, that doesn't hold a lot of water. I don't think that is a very good interpretation of that. One that's much more in line with why Jesus would have said this would have been this, is that Jesus is slowly unveiling his ministry. He's slowly unveiling who he is. And there's a couple of times in here where he says, hey, I don't need you to tell anyone. And the reason for that is he doesn't want people coming to him for the wrong reasons. Jesus is not about a quick fix. And if the word gets out, hey, Jesus is doing this, or Jesus is taking care of this sickness or this sickness, then people will come flooding to him just to get a quick fix. And Jesus is not interested in a quick fix. He wasn't interested in a quick fix then, and he's not interested in doing that now. The place that I really go to explain why he says this is back in Mark chapter 1. In Mark chapter 1, verse 35, he'd come into Capernaum, that's Peter's hometown, and he had healed some people, and they had bedded down for the night, and the next morning everybody was looking for Jesus, and Jesus had went up on the mountain to pray. And they couldn't find him, but finally when they found him, this is what happened. It says, before daybreak the next morning, Jesus got up and went out to an isolated place to pray. Later, Simon and others went out to find him. And when they found him, they said, everyone is looking for you. But Jesus replied, we must go on to other towns as well, and I will preach to them too. That is why I came. So he traveled throughout the region of Galilee, preaching in the synagogues and casting out demons. Here Jesus is saying, listen, I didn't come to heal the sick. I came to preach the gospel. And why would Jesus say to someone that he's just healed, or in this case that we looked at on Sunday where he's raised a 12-year-old girl from the dead, why would he say, don't tell anybody what has happened? He doesn't want people coming to him for just a physical answer, because the reason that he came was to solve our spiritual dilemma, was to solve our sin problem. And the reason that he came wasn't necessarily to heal the blind or to heal the deaf. Now he did that, but the primary reason he came was so that he could be the Messiah to the world. So why would he specifically say that in a couple of places? It would be so that people wouldn't get the wrong idea. It would be so that people would see him as Messiah. They would see him as Lord and Savior, not as some medicine man that was just healing sick people. So I give you something to think about as you continue to read through the book of Mark with us. And when you have those questions, don't be afraid to ask them. If I can answer it, I'll give it a shot. If I don't know the answer, I'm okay with saying I don't know. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday. Talk to you soon.